By the end of this course, you will have a better understanding and familiarity with the Science K-12 framework, and you'll gain a deeper understanding of what these college and career-ready standards are. This course will help you understand how you can use evidence from assessments to meet the expectations of these college and career-ready standards. Here, we have a variable sheet, and in this we are looking specifically at an item. We are given information about the item, including its NAEP subtopic and item description, but the grade band, the disciplinary core idea, the component DCI, the science engineering practices or practices, and the cross-cutting concepts are unknown to us, as these relate to the Science K-12 framework. Additionally, we do not know what the depth of knowledge or the revised Bloom's taxonomy are. Our purpose is to make judgments about the individual items and where they are best represented in the Science K-12 framework. Some things that we need to focus on. How do we believe the item fits to each of these Science K-12 framework aspects? And in doing so, to do this appropriately, we need to elucidate evidence that we can use to support our judgment. For example, we would put our evidence here when making an alignment decision. For example, let's say we are reviewing an item that deals with natural selection and the student's ability to construct an explanation based on evidence. Within their explanation, their response needs to describe how adaptations can influence populations. In this example, the evidence from the prompt, such as the verbs and the key language that helps support our placement of this item to the Science K-12 framework, we might reference that this item is best aligned to the Science Engineering Practice 6, which is constructing explanations and designing solutions. We might also reference the disciplinary core idea, LS4, which is biological evolution and unity and diversity. And lastly, for the cross-cutting concept, we might state that it is cause and effect, the mechanism and explanation. Further, we can add additional comments, which would be the area that we need to include information about things that are relevant to making our alignment judgment to this area. Consider this. Were certain aspects missing for a full alignment? Was NAEP above, on par, or below the expectations of this standard? For illustrative purposes, this example is most likely appropriate for high school. So under the grade band, we would put the grade that we think this item best fits. So based on our practice, DCI, and cross-cutting concept alignments that we indicated above, we think that this item is most appropriate for 912. In some aspects, it might have a complete alignment, or we might be in full agreement that the item fits here. However, there may be instances where it is somewhat addressed, or not all aspects of the item fit there. However, there may be instances still yet where some things are addressed, but it is not entirely covered at the breadth that is explained in the Science K-12 framework. And that is why we need this fitness scale. So with the fitness scale, we have a 0 to a 3. A 0 would indicate no alignment. A 1 would indicate a weak alignment, where placing the item here is a stretch. We may have reservations about placing the item in this category, and we were not able to find a better fit. A 2 indicates a good alignment. This item may belong in this category, however there was one or more aspects that the item does not strongly fit there. And a 3 is an excellent or full alignment, where the question clearly belongs in this category, and we have no reservations about placing it here. So as you wade through your alignments, focus on what disciplinary core idea is most appropriate for this item? What DCI component is most appropriate? What practice is most appropriate? What cross-cutting concept is being met for this item? And what grade band is most appropriate for this item? Lastly, for the rigor, what depths of knowledge in revised Bloom's taxonomy is most appropriate for this item? In some cases, you may be able to go directly to what framework component is most appropriate for the item. However, there are instances, for example with the DCI, that is too fine of grain of a judgment for us to make, and we're only able to get to the granularity of the practices. However, if you feel it's easier to jump immediately to the component DCI, and it is in good agreement with your decision, by all means, please feel free to use this approach. With the Science K-12 framework, increasing rigor and high expectations are paramount to our instruction to prepare our students for the expectations of college and careers upon high school graduation. That being said, we want you to make sure that we can ascertain what depth of knowledge is most appropriate for this item. So how complex is the task? What sort of content knowledge should these students be able to know in order to engage with the material or respond appropriately to the item? We also want to know the revised Bloom's taxonomy, so how difficult is this task? Both of these cognitive taxonomies are necessary in order to make a decision about how rigorous the item is, and what sort of knowledge and abilities does the student need to have in order to successfully or proficiently master the expectations of this question. Now we have gone through all of the aspects of the variable sheet. Thank you for familiarizing yourself with the variable sheet that will be used throughout the course. Next we'll tackle the science standards for Montana.